Studies have shown that 5 black women and girls are murdered each day in the U.S., and research shows it hasn't gotten a lot of attention. But Wisconsin lawmakers are now pushing new legislation to address the disparities among these vulnerable populations. Our political reporter Darielle Fair has you covered on that new bill.
Some families across the country are experiencing the loss of a loved one who was a victim of gender violence. This happens when a person is killed or harmed because of their gender and many times because of their race. A report released by the Violence Policy Institute confirms that between 2014 and 2022, homicides increased by 24%. That rate for black women was disproportionately higher than any other category for race, age, and gender. The total number of missing person reports filed also increased in 2022, with black women making up less than 7% of the national population, but 20% of all missing persons reported.
Many of the disparities that we're seeing occur amongst women that are between 17 and 24. And so those are daughters, they are, people who deserve to be looked for, but because they've reached what's legal adulthood, then there's a delay from law enforcement to even consider them to be missing.
Dr. Kamala Alexander says resources are underutilized for missing black girls and women due to systemic biases in law enforcement that lead to investigation delays.
Black girls and women are more likely to be labeled as runaways, and a runaway is not someone that law enforcement is going to put resources behind finding, because it appears just by using that label that the person has left on their own will.
Missing people of color also tend to receive less visibility in the media and other avenues. Last week, lawmakers introduced a bipartisan bill that aims to create a task force on missing and murdered black women.
I was very strategic and how I wanted the task force to be comprised. Those with lived experience are going to be the greatest voices at that table.
Representative Sheila Stubbs says the task force will consist of 19 members from the legislative, legal, and nonprofit sectors and focus on a robust strategy to research and make policies to fix the problem. The bill is currently seeking co-sponsorship, but Stubbs says it has already received a great deal of support from both sides of the aisle. She is hopeful it will be brought before a committee in the coming weeks.